All right, welcome everybody. Welcome in. This week we're talking about kitchen hacks, food ideas, substitutions, meal prep, meal plan, all of that sort of stuff. Does anybody have any questions out of the gate before I dive in? We got Eric, Sheila, Rhonda. Oh, how cool. So, Rhonda, you get from both angles. I went live the first couple days of the week, and I think that went well because that way it's immediately on the Facebook group, so you guys can see that. All right, we got lots of people joining. Very good. All right, so if there's no questions, I guess I will go ahead and start. So basically, the first things first. First thing we want to do is before we go to the grocery store to get ready to prep our meals, I would suggest is going through your freezer, going through your refrigerator, and going through your pantry. So you can kind of get a good feel of what you have. If when you go to the grocery store and say, for example, ground turkey is one of your staples and it was on sale 2 weeks ago or last week or whenever, for me, that's a staple. So I'll buy extra and then freeze it. So when I go to do my inventory, I look in my freezer and go, well, there's some ground turkey there. Okay, I've got that. And then I look and I go in my pantry and I go, okay, there's some tomato sauce, or there's spaghetti sauce, or there's an enchilada sauce, or buffalo sauce, or any kind of canned sauces or things of that nature. Like, what could I possibly make with that? So for me, when I think of ground turkey and tomato sauce, I also have, I'm going to go ahead and mute you guys. And then if you have a question, just go ahead and unmute. All you have to do is, you're on your phone, touch your phone, and at the bottom on the left, it'll have a picture of a microphone, and then you can unmute if you're on Zoom. If you're on Facebook, just type your question and hopefully I see it. It doesn't alert me, so if I don't answer you, I'm sorry, but I'll try to keep checking. So for me, when I'm looking at the ground turkey and I got the tomato sauce, well, what can I make with that? And then sloppy joes came to mind. I also took inventory. I already know I had chopped onions and I had chopped bell peppers, and I also have brown sugar, um, you know, our kind of brown sugar. So I know I could make a sloppy Joe thing with that. So in that case, I really wouldn't have to buy anything. I don't even have to go to the store. So save yourself some money, stock up on stuff when it's on sale. If it's in your usual course of you're eating that once or twice a week, like ground turkey or ground chicken or salmon or whatever it is that you eat, go through your freezer and your cabinets and your refrigerator and see what you can do. If I have a spaghetti sauce and I have some zucchini and I have, some bell peppers and onions, I know that's a good start of a spaghetti sauce. Of course, the ground turkey would go wonderful in that. So that's the first thing you're going to do when you are getting ready to meal prep. Obviously, you go to the store, you'll make some plans. Okay, I'm going to make an Italian dish with that spaghetti sauce. I'm going to make the sloppy joes. What do I need? What's missing from that? So what's missing from my sloppy joes, or what's missing from my Italian, or what's missing from my enchiladas, or whatever the case may be. And so then that's how you're going to build your shopping list. Some tools that I think are super, 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 super important. Number one is the mandolin, and this is a chopper. I demoed this on Monday. So you guys are on Facebook, you can go back and watch the Mondays, and I demoed how fast that works. But this mandolin, this is going to save you hours and hours and hours. So I'll take one day, maybe a month, maybe sometimes every 3 weeks I have to do it, but I'll get my mandolin out and I'll just do some chopping. I want you guys to see what I made. with the mandolin. So I've shredded some zucchini, which can be kind of like a hash brown. I could add that to the spaghetti sauce. That would be good. I won't even have to buy that. Chopped bell peppers, or, I'd put different kinds of peppers in here, but just break it up and add a little handful of that. And I can add that to my eggs. I can, every in the morning. Same with my onions. This is going to be enough to last me a month for sure, but I have the onions already. And then celery. When you get a whole thing of celery and you only needed maybe 2 stalks, and then we put it back in the refrigerator and a month later we throw it away. Just go ahead and pull your mandolin out and chop it. And now I have chopped celery ready to go. Easy peasy. Celery, onion, peppers, really the start of almost every single recipe.
Well, are you wasting away?
I
only gained 5 pounds. I'm really shocked. I thought I'd.
Okay, I just muted. Anyway, these are the start of pretty much any recipe, whether it's the Italian or the Mexican or the Asian.
In a while, but I've got to get.
They all keep calling for that. Okay. So let me put these back in the fridge or freezer. I use the mandolin to shred these as well. This can go in anything. I use these, by the way, to add to my meatballs in place of breadcrumbs. So that keeps them really super moist. I've just added extra nutrition and there's no gluten, no bread whatsoever. And it's delicious and it can take on any flavor. So if you wanted to make them sweet meatballs or like Italian meatballs or more of a barbecue sauce style, you can still use those for that. Other tools you will need. I use the immersion blender and I puree my yams a lot, and that's pretty good. And you can do that with your winter squash, your acorn squash, butternut squash. That's a fun and delicious way to do it. And it's comfort food. It is comfort food. And you can make a bunch of that and then freeze that and then pull that out as needed. That's another thing you can do on your meal prep day. And another thing is mandatory. You should absolutely have are your glass containers. You really, really, really want to try to get glass because the plastic, all the chemicals from the plastic can leach into your food. I got this at an elephant game at Christmas. You know how everybody brings the one gift? Well, someone had got a bunch of these, containers, and you know how you get to steal the gift? I stole this one and I got to keep it, so I'm pretty happy. And there's all different sizes and shapes. So I'll do everything for my fresh tomatoes all the way to my meal preps with the bigger bowls. So really get some good, variety sizes of your glass container. So those are some tools that I think are absolutely mandatory. Looks like someone's asking a question. Yeah, I can freeze celery. Yes, I can. I did. And I use it. And now if you're going to try to eat it fresh, I don't think it would taste very good. Oh, I didn't even bring out I get the spinach in a big container. So I'll take half of it and eat it as a salad. And I immediately take the other half and put it into a freezer bag. And then once it's frozen, I squish it, squish it, squish it so that it's basically chopped, but it doesn't stick together and be in big giant clumps. So, but it will never be a salad, but I can certainly cook with it. I can throw it in a soup. I can throw it in a recipe and call it Florentine style. So celery, if you're going to use it for cooking in the future, you can absolutely freeze it. But if you're going to try to freeze celery and then think you're going to crunch on it later like a snack, I don't know that it would come out too good for that. So great question. Okay, so those are the tools. A regular blender, I would definitely recommend that just for your shakes, so you can add things to your shakes. Eventually, you'll add fruit. You can add avocados. You can add some nuts if you wanted to make your protein shakes a little bit creamier. Avocado or nuts really makes it creamier. If you're throwing all of your supplements in with your shake, you're going to need a blender for that. Um, I use a blender to make my protein shake popsicles because I'll throw extra stuff in there, like some sugar-free chocolate chips, or maybe a little bit of strawberries. Um, but I blend it really quick, so there's pieces. If you blend it too long, it just turns it into the liquid. So those are the tools that you need. Let's see, some must-haves, some things that you should never, ever, ever be out of to keep yourself safe from, oopsie, I better call Uber Eats or drive through the place. If you have these things, or if you get close to running out, it's like toilet paper, guys. We don't ever want to run out of that. We don't wait till it's gone before we restock. We see we're getting low, and that's when we restock. So the first one is my cauliflower rice and pretty much any frozen vegetables. You guys have heard me say this 100 times. You want to have a vegetable at every meal when at all possible. It's not always possible. Not even I get a vegetable at every single meal, but I try. Setting the intention to do that. But this is the quickest, easiest, fastest cooking thing. So if you're in a hurry and in a pinch, this takes 2 minutes. Literally takes 2 minutes to make. I make a chicken fried rice with this a lot, so that's an easy peasy. I also another staple is I have a bag of frozen chicken breast in my freezer always. I always have proteins. I have some frozen cods and frozen chicken breast and some turkey burgers. Those are just kind of the staples that I keep in my freezer. But always have the vegetables and always have your frozen um, proteins. So in a pinch, somebody else in your household ate it, or it went bad, or you thought you had some, and oh, that's right, I did eat it last night. You always have a backup plan. Setting yourself up with a backup plan is a really good plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You've heard that. So don't be out. Don't be out. Don't run out of toilet paper and don't run out of your cauliflower rice. By the way, I sometimes will add the brown, my half a cup of brown rice to this, and now it's like a big pile. And then you can use it as a bed of rice to put your chicken or your sloppy Joe mix or your enchilada stuff or whatever you're making and call it a bed of rice. And you're not overdoing it because you're staying within your half cup limit of the brown rice. But you mix it with this stuff, and it just makes it so much bigger. My mind doesn't know the difference. It tastes like regular rice to me. It is satisfying, it's comfort food, and it's delicious. And how easy is this? So that's an easy peasy. Another must have, cooking spray, avocado. I go with avocado. You guys can get coconut as well, but the coconut one, it tends to clog up. And so I would have to put a blow dryer on it to kind of melt it. The avocado spray does not ever clog up because it never gets solid at room temperature, whereas coconut oil does. So you want to go with your cooking spray, definitely a must have. Some other backup plans, must haves, um, your canned tuna, wild caught, free range chicken, again, having a backup plan for your protein. A lot of my clients are coming in a little shy on their protein. These are so easy to just open up, the tuna, or if this one, throw in some mayonnaise, and you have a little snack right there. This is going to be 4 ounces of actual tuna. That's a great little snack. It's going to get you at least 20 grams of protein. What do they say it is? 23 grams of protein. So that is a fabulous snack. Um, and it doesn't take but a minute. And I keep this in the refrigerator so that it is cold when I want an instant snack. Instant. Like who doesn't like anything instant, right? So keep these in the refrigerator, and they're cold, and obviously your mayo is in the refrigerator. So those are that. And then I keep this is kind of, I would consider that a staple too. The chosen foods mayo. It's made from avocado oil, but you can make your chicken salad. You can make your tuna salad. Oh, I lost somebody. Um, you know, this, you can make some salad dressings or dips with this kind of stuff. And on veggie days, this will really help you get your calories up if you're trying to, if you're not getting enough calories, stuff like this is really, 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 really going to help you. All right, so those are kind of some must-haves. So your frozen proteins and vegetables. All right, so let's go through some substitutes. All right, so sweeteners. Got my stevia. I got my Swerve. These are my top two favorites. This is Swerve if I'm going to make my sloppy Joe mix with my ground turkey. A little bit of this, a little bit of bell peppers and onions, and then you put it on a bed of rice. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious, and it makes it nice and sweet. Sometimes we want a sweet thing, and this just makes it really good. I do use packets or the liquid of stevia. So those are some substitutions. For chocolate, I use cacao powder. I made the pudding yesterday. I'm going to make some frosting tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be all snacks and food ideas tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that's a substitute for that. Pasta, you've heard of zoodles. It's basically zucchini. Somebody was asking about making it at home. There's all kinds of tools. It's kind of like their mandolin. I just used this, and it wasn't like long zoodles. It was more like the hash brown size, but you could use this too. Otherwise, you can buy zoodles. You can buy it frozen and you can buy it fresh in the produce department. You can use spaghetti squash. That's another pasta substitute. And then I like the It's Skinny or the Palmieri, which is the hearts of palm noodles. And they're already pre-made. So this is ready to go. All I got to do is warm it. So that's your pasta substitute. Your rice substitute is your cauliflower rice. This is a staple you should keep in your house because it's a base, just like having a spaghetti sauce, your spaghetti sauce, and spaghetti sauce is a staple. Your enchilada sauce is a staple, just as like a flavor base. You're not slaving over the stove all day. But watch your enchilada sauces because some of them have soybean oil in them. Siete makes a good brand, does not have the soybean oil. But this I used yesterday to make that chocolate pudding. Came out really delicious. But this is really super high in calories. And it was so good, I could see myself wanting to eat the whole thing. So this week, I'm going to see if I can't do it before tomorrow, although I still have leftover pudding. I'm going to try to make that same recipe with almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, and see if it sets and has the same texture. But again, you guys can do that too. Play in the kitchen. It's fun. Sometimes the things don't work, but sometimes they do. And now we have a new hack that, you can have pudding every week. Let's see, coffee. I use the Teeccino brand. It's spelled Teeccino, and you can go to teeccino.com. They have all kinds of flavors, hazelnut, vanilla nut. They have different health benefit ones. Some are good for the brain and focus. Some are good for immune. Some are good for energy. All caffeine free, all gut friendly. So this is very compliant to the program. So that if you're missing your coffee, here's your coffee substitute, Teeccino. I also found this at Sprouts. Not this flavor. This is one of my favorites, but not this flavor. The website will have all of their flavors. And then your pancakes and your waffles. It's all the recipe for that is just 1 egg and 1 scoop of protein powder. Vanilla or strawberry would probably be the best. But all you got to do is mix that up and make your pancakes, and that's an easy fix. All right. So let's see. What was I going to talk about next? All right. So where are we at? So for example, for lunch today, which I'll do afterwards here, I have chicken that I'm defrosting. I know I have my zucchini already shredded. I know I have my onions. I know I have, oh, this is another staple too. And of course, I'm Italian, so you got to have garlic. Who wants to spend all day chopping garlic? But I just use, and that's why I got a big one because I use it all the time. But because I know I have that chicken, I found some sun-dried tomatoes in my cabinet. I have my bell peppers, my onions already cut up. I have my garlic already cut up. I know I have avocado oil. So I'm going to put all of that in a pan. Well, I'll cook my chicken first, take it out, cook everything else, and then add the chicken in and put it over a bed of my pasta and have a really nice lunch. And it won't take me however long it takes to cook diced chicken. Is that 5 minutes? Maybe, 7 minutes. It's really, really fast. So once you get your meal prep and you have your frozen onions and celery and peppers, that's going to make your life so much easier and go so much faster. Some snack ideas. I'm going to go over some tomorrow, but one of my favorites, oh, I forgot to bring it out. One of my favorites is you get a can of your chicken and then the buffalo sauce. If you like spicy, you're going to love this. And then I mix the two together to my liking. I do like spicy, so I'll put a lot of the sauce, and it's not a high fat item, so it's not going to be calorically dense. It's going to be 25 calories for 1 tablespoon, so that's not bad. But then you put it on a celery stick. So there we have it. We got a celery stick. We'll put some of this chicken buffalo on a celery stick, but now you've got that whole rest of the stalks. You got 5 or 6 or 7 more stalks. Use your mandolin and chop it up. um, so you don't waste all the extra celery. Let's see. What are some other substitutes I have? Oh, gelatin is something else that I used. I used that to make um, my pudding yesterday. But what this is also really good for, besides, it's got a lot of health benefits to it. It's good for your hair, skin, and nails. It makes your nails grow in thicker. Same with your hair. Good for your skin. It's paleo friendly. It's pure protein, but it acts as a thickening agent for anything that you make cold. So if you're trying to make like a gravy that's warm, it really doesn't thicken it. But the minute whatever it is cold, it gets cool, it's thicker. So I use this sometimes if I'm making like my own salad dressings, if I want it to be thicker and it seems like it's a little bit watery, I'll add some of this, and within about 15 or 20 minutes, it's nice and thick, and it pours nicely over the salad. My friend had a grapefruit tree, and she gave me a bunch of grapefruits. I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with grapefruits? I like grapefruit, but I don't want to eat it every day. Um, it's delicious. So I thought, well, let me make a grapefruit salad dressing out of it. So I took a couple of the wedges, and I put it in my blender, and then I did a little bit of, if you wanted to make it fat free, you could add a little bit of water and then vinegar, and then I would add probably a stevia and then a tablespoon of this. Oh, cannot see the
Tammy,
brand
can you
of
read the name of that? Yeah, I can't see it either. Can you tell us the name of it?
which one, the gelatin?
Yes.
It's Now brand. Now.
And it's called what? Beef,
Just gelatin.
just gelatin. Okay, now brand
It's
gelatin.
beef gelatin powder, but
Okay,
it's plain. I've seen plain gelatin powder at the grocery store. I used to sell this exact brand in my vitamin store, but they have other brands. I bet you anything they would have this at Sprouts. I don't know where I got this. I'm guessing I got this on Amazon. The buffalo sauce is Primal Kitchen. Hopefully you can see that. Primal Kitchen. I like Primal Kitchen pretty much across the board. They make the good salad dressings. They make the mayo, and then this sauce tastes really good too. But you gotta like spicy for that. But anyway, yeah. So this would be a thickener for something that you're trying to that would be cold. And so now that I made that pudding yesterday, I made that for the first time. I'm gonna play with that and make different ones, and I can do different flavors. I can do vanilla. I can blend it and maybe make it like a strawberry with fresh, strawberries, and then put it in the fridge and see if it sets. So we really can play and see what it turns into. I'm sure I could Google, pudding made with gelatin powder, paleo friendly. That's where we want to go because they're not going to ask for dairy. But that might be a good way to go. Mm, does anybody have any other? Oh, two other things I wanted to show you. I have. Let's see. As far as desserts go, I make popsicles with my protein powder. So obviously I made this one chocolate. And then if you also want an ice cream, there's the So Delicious. You really, really got to look for this turquoise lid. That's the ticket because most grocery stores have the So Delicious. Not all of them have the no sugar added. But man, this is so delicious. It really, that's its name, but it really is true to its name. The only thing I would say about this is that it's a good practice in delayed gratification because you can't just pull this out of the freezer and start eating it. It's hard as a rock. So you have to take it out and stare at it for 15 minutes. Give it the evil eye for 15 minutes. And once I've decided to have my ice cream, like I want it and I want it now. So it is a challenge, but but it's worth the wait because it's really, really good. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Also, something else you can do to save yourself some time is if you have 2 or 3 pounds of your ground turkey and you want to make it all at once, if you have a good sized pan, and then put a pound in each of these. Now it's already cooked and it's ready to go. So all you would have to do is pull this out of the freezer at the beginning of the week. You have your onions, you have your bell peppers, you have your celery, and that's the start of any recipe. Like I said, whatever direction you're going, if you're going to make it Italian. But if you have your ground turkey already cooked, you're already going to make some anyway. It doesn't take any longer. You're still going to wash one pan. But now you don't have to do that for a long time. So just go bigger, invest in a big giant pan, put 2 or 3 pounds of your ground turkey in there, put 2 of the pounds in separate containers, and you pull one out a week, and now you have a good amount. You can do anything with that kind of stuff. You can do anything. You can make tacos with your lettuce wraps. You can turn it into a spaghetti sauce. You can just have it. You may make your sloppy Joe. You can do there's so many things. Whatever you would do with ground beef or ground turkey, but it's already made. So you work a lot, you get home from work, obviously the chopping's already done. You have your onions and bell peppers and celery already done. But if this is already done also, that's a game changer. You don't have to do any dishes for a week if you do it that way. So just keep that in mind. Whatever you can, you're going to do. Oh, someone's asking to join the video. How do you approve? That's bizarre. Hopefully that worked. I've never seen that before. Anyway, so brown your ground turkey a whole bunch, make it in advance. You could even make patties if you wanted, if you're a turkey patty kind of person, and pull those out as needed. That's easy peasy. And again, you only have to wash that pan once, and you've got 3 weeks worth of dinners or lunches. I enjoy cooking a dinner and I have more time at night, but during the day, you guys, I love it. I love that you all email me a lot and text me a lot, but it keeps me busy. So I need to have my lunch already ready. So for me, I meal prep for my lunches. Oh, another little tip. If you guys use your coconut milk for, say you're making your shake with it or you're making the popsicles, I add this to my popsicle mix. It makes it a lot more creamy, but I certainly wouldn't add a whole can because I'm adding a whole lot of extra calories. So what I do is I'll freeze the rest in an ice cube tray. And now later when I go to make a shake in my blender, I'll take out one or two of these ice cubes. Now it's going to be thicker and colder and like a shake. Plus I'm adding a little bit of the coconut milk, so it's a good fat, but I don't have to open a whole can and throw the rest away. So it's another way to save money on that. Oh, and that's another thing. You might want to invest in a couple of these. So if you ever buy fresh basil or rosemary or any fresh herbs, and you're not going to go through the whole thing, or cilantro, you can put them in these ice cube trays and pour a little bit of. I don't recommend olive oil for cooking. It's not great for high heat. So I would say put your rosemary or your basil or whatever, cover it with a little bit of avocado oil, and then freeze it. And then when you're ready to cook with basil or rosemary or whatever you have, you can pop your ice cubes out, throw them in the pan, and it's a little bit of avocado oil, which is a good oil for cooking. It's good for high heat. So that's what I would recommend for that. And you don't waste it. I mean, I just threw away. I didn't even follow my own advice. I thought I was going to eat it, but I didn't refrigerate it. I put my cilantro, cut the bottoms, put it in a glass with water, but I set it on the counter and it went bad too fast. But next time I'll just freeze the rest. So anyway, those are some money saving tips. Does anybody have any questions? If you, I muted everybody at first because there was a lot of um, feedback. It says, I bought a huge wok pan and it's awesome. Oh, yes. Yeah, a big wok. You can make all kinds of stuff and then freeze it in your, you know, things pull it them. You might have enough for 2 separate times. So if you're making a nice big Asian meal, but you don't want to eat that much because after 2 or 3 days you'll get tired of it. So put it in 2 of the containers, freeze 2 of the containers, eat the one you got fresh, and a week from now or 2 weeks from now you pull one out, you got a whole complete meal. Um, but yeah, invest in some tools for your kitchen. Don't be shy with that. It makes life so much easier, and you're going to stick with it. Oh, you're very welcome. Liz, are you asking about where to purchase what? The mandolin? I actually got it as a gift from Dr. Infantino, but they are on Amazon. My containers were also a gift, but Those are everywhere. Those are Walmart, just Target, everywhere. All right, so anybody have any other questions? Feel free to unmute, please. Gelatin. Where did I purchase the gelatin? I'm 90% sure I got it on Amazon. Pretty sure. I would send you to my store, but it's been closed. It's now an eyebrows waxing place. I've been in there. I'm like, it was in California, so it was before I moved to Arizona. And every time I go back, I go in there, and she made it such a cute little place. And she does that. What do they call it? Threading for the eyebrows. Anyway,
Tami?
yes.
Oh, I wanted to, have you ever seen this?
Wild Planet, wild tuna, bean. Is that corn salad?
And corn salad?
Okay. I
Yeah.
have not.
So they're the wild planet tuna that's sustainably caught.
Okay.
These are ready to eat. This is about 250 calories, and it's a meal in one can with 8 grams of fiber and 18 grams of protein. And I discovered them. That's the kind of tuna that I eat.
How many carbohydrates? Because the beans and the corn are carbs.
Yep. So 21.
-8.
Correct. And I
21
just recently.
-8. That's not terrible. That's not bad. I mean, most corn is GMO, but
This is it says it actually. It's organic. It's organic sweet corn, red peppers, and carrots.
that sounds pretty good.
And why I'm mentioning it is had a last minute road trip and didn't have time to prep, which scared me.
Is
And
this
so
a shelf
I went
stable or is it frozen?
Yeah, it's shelf stable.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I'm
where
telling
did you find it?
Walmart, in the tuna section, right where all the wild planet are. And I'm telling you, my husband, 6'2", needs to eat a horse every single day in order to be satisfied. When we were on the road, would have one of these, and there's 3 different kinds. Unbelievable how it kept you full and satisfied. We went hours in the car before having to stop and feel hungry again or whatever. So for fast, quick, you throw it in your purse.
That
amazing.
is great. And
really, really
I just had someone this morning say, hey, I got to be in a conference for the next 2 days. And I said, best bet, because you never know if they're providing the food, you're screwed. If they're not providing the food, it's like you might still be screwed. So, but your only defense against that is bring your own food. But if that's shelf stable and doesn't require refrigeration, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is the solution to travel, to conferences, that's
last
wonderful.
minute. Yeah. No, it's a really, really good product to have in your, as you list everything else, that it's just so fantastic that I found recently, and it really keeps you satisfied.
Can you hold it
and
up
full.
again?
Sure.
You guys can see that. Can you see that? Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay. So thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Someone
There's
is
3
asking
different.
me about the popsicle recipe, and I make it different every time. There is no actual recipe. It's basically your protein shake. Put them in the little molds, and that's it. Sometimes I add the coconut milk. It makes it a little creamier. Sometimes I'll add I'll blend everything, and then at the very last second, I'll throw in some sugar-free chocolate chips, but just real quick, because that way there's chunks of chocolate, but not big chunks. If you blend it too long, it turns it into like a powder. You don't even notice them. So now you've just added extra calories and you can't tell. But it's more like a chocolate chip ice cream if you just do it a quick blend. But you could add whatever you wanted into it. If you wanted to add the avocado in there to make it creamier, and then try that as a popsicle, however you like to drink your protein shake, if you're adding something else to it, you could certainly do all of that. Just put it as a popsicle. And now that, summer's starting to be here, I'm in Arizona, so it's starting to warm up. I think it was in the 90s yesterday. So get ready. Here we go. Here we go, Arizona. Anybody have anything else? I don't see any questions over here. I got a big old mess. And it's still going to be here for tomorrow too. All right, you guys. Well, I really appreciate you joining. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about? Travel. Oh, somebody's on her first detox. Do you have any questions about that, Jennifer? Or are you doing okay? Or do you need, you can have broth. Don't forget you can have broth on detox day. So far, so good. Awesome. Good, good, good to hear. Okay, so she's doing awesome. All right, guys. Anybody else have anything?
Yesterday I made some cabbage soup, and I used the bone broth, the chicken bone broth for that instead of the regular chicken broth.
I'm so glad. I am so glad. I am a huge fan of the chicken or any bone broth. It's just really good for healing the gut, good for your immune, skin, hair, nails, leaky gut, all of that stuff. And it's got protein.
I also cooked some chicken. Yeah, I also cooked some chicken, and so I made some chicken and noodle soup, and I used the Plini noodles that were already cooked, and
yeah,
and then some more bone broth, and my chicken and carrots and celery. So, and I froze them.
Sounds like you're doing great. You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm traveling, so
yeah,
in the car.
Awesome. Anybody else? Awesome. Well, hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be going over snack and food and meal ideas as well tomorrow at 9 a.m. That's all I got for today. Oh, can I decaffeinate? She's asking if she can do decaffeinated tea on the cleanse. You're not supposed to do decaffeinated tea at all during the program, but you can have naturally caffeine free on the program and on the cleanse. So like a mint never had caffeine in the first place. Chamomile, ginger, some of the fruit teas, no sugar, of course. Those would be fine. The ginger might be nice to have on that. Yes, you're going to see this on Facebook. You're seeing this version, but I also recorded from the other point of view. So you'll get 2 points of view. I'll add the other one to Facebook as well. So you'll be able to see this as a replay. Yeah. Awesome. So anyway, all right, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Good to see you all of my old friends and my new friends. And super happy to see you all here and still continuing on the journey of health and wellness. And so with that, I will say goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.